The things that set Bovitech, SEK Genetics, and Vogler's apart from our competitors, we really start on the cow side of things. When we think about the Vogler family, they're well known for how they take care of bulls and how they're able to get the results on the semen side. They do the same thing with donors. So they treat your cattle like they're their cattle, and they want you to get as many embryos as possible. And because of that, they're able to have great success because of how consistent they are with shots, how consistent they are with nutrition, and just the way that they take care of the animals throughout the entire process. So along those same lines, the team at SEK Genetics also does a great job for us, and that's one of the aspects that we really focus on, is aligning ourselves with satellite centers like Vogler's, with vet partners like the group at SEK Genetics, because really what we're trying to do is hone in every individual donor. So I talk with Clem after each session, and we go back and we really try to dial in each individual donor to ensure that they're making the most oocytes possible so we can make the most embryos at the lab.
After this stage in the game is where you move from maturation tube, and then we're sticking it in an incubator to send it up. Continue to be in maturation media for the next basically 24 hours, and they'll be fertilized in Wisconsin when they arrive. What would be the next morning. You can go every 2 weeks, not indefinitely, because you can usually go, most cows can handle it 3-4 times.
Is it traumatic for them?
Nope, and actually what usually yields the best results is aspirating cows that are pregnant. So you can aspirate cows that are pregnant up to 100 days of pregnancy. But the thing that you run up against there is the farther along she gets in pregnancy, the bigger that the cap is inside of her, and the bigger the uterus gets, and it pulls the ovaries down, where it becomes difficult to be able to bring them up to aspirate them. Say a cow, if she's bred, if you ran her 3 or 4 times, probably by the time you did that 3rd or 4th time, she's gonna be,
if she's bred,
she's gonna be too far along.
But on an open cow,
you can keep going. I think that there's definitely benefit to keeping a cow working for sure, in terms of either being pregnant or continuing to lactate.
Right.
So it kind of keeps them fresh. Obviously, run into cases where there's going to be a cow that's kind of at the end of her productive life, and it's a matter of trying to get as much out of her as you can. So then you're just going to keep going until it doesn't work.
Nothing.
The next part where we set ourselves apart is in terms of the actual media that those oocytes will grow in. And the media that we've developed is more similar to the uterus of a cow than any of our competitors. And because of that, we make embryos that are closer to in vivo embryos than IVF embryos. In addition to that, because we make a more robust embryo, it's more likely to survive freezing, and we get the best frozen preg rates of any company in the business. One of the aspects that's key to getting a donor to produce as many oocytes as possible is stimulating her with follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH. And when we compare it to a non-stimulated model, an FSH stimulated donor is going to make about 2.3 times as many oocytes and embryos as a non-stimulated donor, and also their embryo development is better. And there isn't a ton of research out there in terms of differences in pregnancy rates, because you're essentially from one school of thought or the other. But there was a recent publication in 2019 that compared, there was about 800 embryos in each study comparing FSH and non-FSH embryos. And those that got FSH had pregnancy rates that were 9 percentage points higher than those that did not get FSH. So from our perspective, FSH not only gives you more embryos at the end of the day, but ultimately more pregnancies and more calves on the ground, which we know is what our customers are really after.